Welcome, everyone. Today we have something really special, a heartfelt conversation with one of our recent Teen FND Academy graduates, Caitlyn and her mom, Kelly. Caitlyn's journey with FND, just like many other teens struggling with this condition, has been full of challenges, growth, and incredible transformation. And through it all, her family has been right beside her. And in this conversation, we will hear from Caitlyn how she discovered her strength, how her perspective shifted during the program, and what it meant for her and for mom to walk this path of FND recovery together. Whether you're a teen, parent, or someone just beginning to explore what recovery can look like for FND, we hope this story brings you encouragement, hope, and a reminder that healing is truly possible. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yes, can you hear us?
Wonderful. Yes. Good seeing you, Caitlyn. Feel like it's been a hot minute. How are you doing, Kelly?
Doing good.
Good.
How are you?
I am doing well. Thank you so much for joining this call. And is James going to join? Is it the two of you?
Just the two of us.
Okay, perfect. Okay. All right. Awesome. And so I would like to be pretty mindful of the time too, because I heard, Caitlyn, you're like super busy, like a rock star. Want to hear all about that. That's awesome. I want to hear all about that, how things were going with your life, with FND, before joining the program, and then how things have changed and transformed, throughout the program, and then where things are at. So in that sort of like a timeline manner. But if you want to add anything else, you're more than welcome to. It's really about inspiring other teens to really showcase that the recovery is possible. And you are one of those, cases that started with not so great. You know what I mean? A lot going on, and then now it's like a whole new person, right? I think that is something we can highlight and showcase, and then really like brag about you. That's really what it is. Yeah. And I also want to ask questions to you, Caitlyn, first, and then I would love to hear from you, Kelly, about your perspective as a parent, and then how kind of things, from your perspective, how things have evolved. And I'm pretty sure you have learned, a lot yourself too as a parent, and what to do and that kind of thing too. So it would be nice to hear that. Okay, so let's get started. Welcome, first of all. So first question I want to ask is to you, Caitlyn. Tell me about how things have been with your FND before joining this program. Kind of like how it started, what were the typical symptoms, and then how this FND impacted your life day to day.
FND, before we found out about this group, life was pretty difficult. It really sucked because I wasn't able to go to school. I wasn't able to really do anything that didn't involve like me being watched over like a hawk. It started freshman year. I started having some fainting spells. I was having some stressors at school. That's when it really started, and we thought it was just some fainting spells. Then sophomore year, it got worse because later on in the year, I was having more stressors again. The stressor of normal sophomore stuff, I guess, just getting ready to go to. I was taking a college class at the time for video production. I just noticed, like, at the start of that day, I just felt really off. I had a headache. I was just feeling like very numb. I felt like I was disconnected from my body, like nothing felt real. I was just in the middle of class. I was feeling tired. I was having difficulty like focusing, and then next thing I knew, I fell out of my chair and started having a seizure. And the weirdest thing was I was fully conscious during the whole thing, so I was fully aware of what was going on, but I had no control over my movements. I was just stiff, and it went on for quite a while, and I was taken to the hospital, and they were just they didn't know what was wrong with me at that time.
It's almost like a what didn't you have, is faster, question, right? With so many things going on for quite some time. And obviously, Kelly, as a parent, you were right there side by side. And what was your experience like? Here, Caitlyn's having all these symptoms, taking her to the hospital, not having any answers, and it's impacting a lot of day to day life, not only for Caitlyn, but for you too.
Yes, it was extremely scary, especially it was about a year ago that she had ended up in the emergency room. It had been probably a good even 20 minutes before I could get to the emergency room. And to see her that's the first time I'd ever seen her having the seizures. They continued for quite a while. Just so scary to see. And they made her, had her get a CAT scan. And, they were giving her seizure medications at the time, but nothing was really helping. They were in communication with a neurologist while she was in the hospital. And so, really, they had no answers for us other than to see a neurologist. It was quite a scary experience. And then they continued for quite a while after that. We'd be in the middle of the night, we'd hear banging on the walls. And it wasn't that when she felt a seizure coming on, she would sometimes be able to, knock on the wall. But then other times the banging was just her when she was really stiff. Her fists or her arms would just be hitting the wall. And so we would wake up and run in and try to, wait for her to the seizure to be over and make sure she was okay. And then a lot of times her days would start that way too. You would just be waking her up for school and she would immediately have a seizure. And it was just terrible to start her days that way, knowing whether to send her to school, that she's going to be safe. A lot of times I would not be without my phone right there, knowing that I'd be getting phone calls from the school and I would have to come pick her up because they didn't want her to be there, just since no one knew what was going on.
I remember distinctly when I met you guys earlier this year about Kelly, how you had to be always this like on the go, ready to drop everything and pick up Caitlyn from whether school or anywhere essentially. And then you were like almost like a firefighter, like waiting, ready to go. And that is what a caring parent, does, and extremely exhausting and scary at the same time. Is that kind of how you were experiencing too?
Very, very constant on edge. Just there was never any downtime where you weren't always thinking about her safety and what was going on. It was exhausting.
Absolutely. And then for you, Caitlyn, considering such a high independent individual, right? And then having this experience, and now everybody's hovering over you, like a helicopter. And then I hear this sense of, I don't have, any space, or freedom, both physically and mentally. And things were like so out of control, right? With these episodes and symptoms and other people, and just not being able to have life, whatever normal means. Is that kind of how you were feeling too? It must be extremely frustrating.
Yeah, it's just I was under constant supervision, whether it from parents. I would always have to do check-ins when I did go to school, a few hours. Then I would go over to like a friend's house. Their parents was in the medical field, so whenever I started having a seizure, they kind of knew what to do to help me. It just really sucked. I couldn't do anything on my own.
Absolutely. Yes. And then you found this program earlier this year. And what was it like for you, Caitlyn, before you joined the program? Usually parents, tell you, yeah, this is what this program is about. But I'm curious what your experience was.
I was a little skeptical. I'm like, I wasn't sure how it was going to help me because even I didn't know what was going on with me. And they're just like, there's this group that can help you. And I'm like, I was willing to give it a try because at that point I was just so sick and tired. I was just willing to do anything to get rid of how I was feeling.
And that's like a 1000% of the teens, before they join the program, right, would say. So that's totally normal. And it's like nobody's expected to know exactly what FND is or what to do to begin with, right? So this is like a new, for most families, if not all. And Kelly, what was your experience was like? Sort of like how you decided to join the program?
I believe we were truly blessed to have a neurologist that was familiar with FND and with you. And so I think that learning in the program how hard some parents have had to fight and have to search for the help, I felt truly blessed that we had made right connections, not out of my own work, but just almost by coincidence that, our neurologist was familiar with you, and it just, the fit, that just everything just seemed to fall into place and fit for us.
I'm so glad you chose or decided to give it a shot. And so then the program started, and there's a parents component, and then there's a teen component that you all are learning essentially the same thing, but learning what the roles are as a parent and then a teen. And I want to start with you, Caitlyn. What's been helpful joining the program to where you are now?
In the program, definitely just getting to know other people that are going through a similar experience as you. It's very comforting to realize that you're not the only person who is feeling this way. And it was also just very helpful that we were able to bounce ideas and like skills off each other, saying like, "Oh, this didn't work for me, but it might help for you, or this helped for me." And we were always willing to help each other out, even if we didn't or did have similar symptoms.
Yeah, it's a sense of community, right? Feeling you're not alone to begin with, and then everyone gets everyone because everyone has the same condition, even though symptoms might be different, from one another. I'm with you on that one. Kelly, what about you going through the parent portion?
I'm probably a little different because I found a lot of benefit from the modules.
Mm.
I'm very much the note taker, and I watched the videos like several times, and I had a very thick notebook. But I also feel like the parent meetings were essential also for the same reason, to learn that you're not the only one that's going through this. And you learn, and all our lives are different, but you learn from each other. Everything, it just overlaps, and you learn from that. And I noticed with Caitlyn, she would maybe have a setback, and luckily, like that evening, she'd have a group meeting, and she would bounce right back. She would just come right out of her room after having the meeting and be like, "I got this," and it just reinforced that for her, just talking with other kids.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. So between the modules and then the calls and then the sense of community, and that's a whole part of the program. I want to kind of come back to you, Kelly, for a second, how you were feeling, like you were frustrated, not knowing, uncertainty, scared before joining the program, right? Like constantly on edge. And I'm curious how you kind of work through that, because sometimes you kind of have to let go and to take a leap of faith. So I'm curious from the parents' perspective, how did you back off, without abandoning Caitlyn?
That is very hard.
Yeah.
And she's making faces there. Letting go of the control for me was hard. Checking in all the time, talking about FND was the hardest thing to stop and just let her be a teenager. I have notebooks of, documenting every seizure she had, and I had to stop that. I had to do everything, that almost whatever came as instinct, you had to stop. Almost feeling like you're a bad parent, where you're like, why aren't I checking? Why aren't I doing this or whatever? But learning the importance of letting her be who she's meant to be, and this was her struggle. I mean, we all struggled, but this was her journey, and we were there to support it the best we could while learning ourselves. But I felt like she definitely had the reins on the whole process. She had to do a lot of the work, the heavy lifting, I would say. She took it and flew.
Absolutely. Yeah. And this is where we talk about in the program, essentially in the beginning, right? That their mindset between being a rescuer and then being the role model. And sometimes, as an intuition, to your point, Kelly, we as a parent want to help, and then help means rescue. If there is a problem, then we have to figure out and we have to fix it. Then that is our parents' responsibility. And that's why FND recovery seems very counterintuitive and almost like, oh my gosh, this is like not like opposite of what I would be doing. And that means sometimes there is the teen's responsibility, for you, Caitlyn, to learn to stand on your feet, right? And then take off. And what was it like for you? Was it hard? Was it more like liberating for you, like empowering for you? What was it like for you to kind of change that role?
It was a bit hard because at the same time, it's like you want your parents to be there for you when something bad has happened. But at the same time, like as I got more like into it and realizing like I need to do this on my own, I need to conquer this myself. I got more confidence. I felt more freedom. I realized like how helpful that really is.
And it's natural, right? You're only getting older and having more responsibility, independence, and freedom and control and the power. They all come natural. But sometimes we don't really focus on that when we're having a bad day or struggling with FND. So it can seem counterintuitive sometimes, right? For teens as well. Yeah, but you guys did amazing. I'm so proud of you. And so fast forward, now that you're pretty much ending the program, and where are you now from the time that you couldn't even go to school or do stuff that you wanted to do and felt like out of control now?
Oh, it's crazy to think that's where I was a few like months ago because I haven't had any problems in over like almost 5 months now, and I just got a promotion at my job. I'm a junior now, and I have really good grades. I'm doing everything I ever wanted to do. I'm making friends. I'm just living my life to the fullest, and I'm super happy. And
I'm so proud of you. What about you, Kelly? Now that you've got your Caitlyn back?
She's amazing. Just from thinking back to where we couldn't even leave the house without fear of something bad happening, or it's like now my husband and I actually go out on like a date night, or she's working, she's got a job, she's actually a lifeguard. She just got certified for that. Things that she hopefully will be driving soon, things that we didn't think would be even a possibility are happening now. She's out just excelling.
That's amazing. In my program, we talk about, the importance of recovery. The definition of recovery is really getting your life back. And so things you want to do that you feel like you couldn't do, or things you want to do to full potential, right? Without feeling or worrying about having setback or flare ups and things like that, rather than just counting the absence of symptoms, right? Because it's really about your ability to master the skills and strategies to overcome those symptoms if they happen, so that your life continues. And if you were to talk to other family or other families who are just finding out about this program, or thinking about joining the program because they don't know what happens in the program, what would you say to those families? Maybe start with Caitlyn. What would you say to the other teen who would be just as skeptical, if not more?
end result is amazing. It's 100% worth it. You can get back to your own life and do more in just, I would say, less than a month or less than a year. It really is great knowing that you're never going to be alone in something that may be scary as FND. And it's a real comfort, and just doing all this hard work, it pays off.
I also want to point out that the skills and strategies you have learned in the program to deal with FND, do you feel like those are the same skills and strategies you can use in other areas of your life, even though it's not directly related to FND, like kind of obstacles or challenges or stress, frustration in your life kind of thing? How do you feel about that?
Oh yeah, it could be used in any situations. Any anxiety for me, I like to use grounding a lot, and I do the senses skill where I use my five senses, and it'll bring down my anxiety. And actually, this summer we went on a trip. My mom, she had anxiety about the plane ride, and I was just kind of coaching her through the anxiety and telling her to do one of the skills, and it helps.
That was like highlight, of the moment. It's amazing.
Yes.
Yes.
So yes, it definitely benefits many, all of the family. Learned so much. It is a lot of hard work. Not going to deny that one, but you get out of it what you put into it. And she's proof. And so am I and my husband, and we've learned a lot about ourselves through this journey. Also,
Yeah, yeah. And you already have a great relationship between the two of you and, with your dad too, Caitlin, before you started the program. And, part of the program also covers the communication, right? And then sort of like a parent's role in, raising a teen, who is wanting more independence and then freedom and responsibility. And so parents are learning how to parent things differently. Do you notice that change from hovering to kind of the backing off without abandoning, or any quality of relationship between the three of you?
I do see like some backing off. I'm able to hang out more with friends. I'm able to go out and have a great time with friends. This is, well, my mom specifically. She's more lax. My dad, still a little bit, but he's he was really scared when I was going through this, but he has learned quite a lot from it, and he also does want to see me do the best I can.
It was really about learning and knowing the tools, right? And then kind of what to do, and then that support, the ongoing support. So then you're not doing this all by yourself, and have this accountability, right? That, okay, we're all doing our job, and let's work as a team. And I think you guys did an amazing job of just demonstrating how recovery is possible. And not only that, it's definitely within reach. I think the summer, travel experience was really the highlight of what is possible beyond FND. And that's just so amazing. Amazing. I mean, you're working, going to school, all kinds of extracurricular activities, and it's just living your life to a full potential is something that you wanted to get back to, and then you got it. You got your life back. I'm so, so proud of you. Any last minute comment to the families who are watching this or learning more about the program?
It's it's worth it all in the end.
Thank you so much. That's amazing. Thank you. And I am so, so proud of you. Very impressed. You've gone from 0 to 100, like literally in such a short amount of time, considering how long you have been living, your life to full potential. So I'm very, very proud of you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much.
thank you,
Welcome. Thank you.
thank you.
Of course. And I wanted to quickly share with you. I don't know if you knew, Caitlin, the before and then after the assessment that I have collected, and it's just stark difference. And I was focusing on how you felt, like the disability wise, like functioning, like things you couldn't do or had a difficult time. When you started, you were like really, really high on that number. Higher means that you were having more difficulty with your life day to day, like we know. And then post, after you're done with that, it was a 0. It's amazing. Yeah. And so that's just, again, one more evidence, right? That you are truly living your life to full potential. So I'm super, super proud of you.
Yeah, I'm super happy about it.
Yeah, me too. And so I am going to email you guys later, probably in the next like a few weeks, when I create the alumni group, so then you can have access to the new upcoming curriculum. So then you have it, and then I'm also making a workbook for teen and then parents, so you will have access to those things too. So I just wanted you to have that, as a resource, so then you always have something, at your fingertips. And if you don't need anything, great, but if you need it, it's there, right? So I just wanted to make sure that you have that resource available for you, and then you can have that for as long as you want. So there's that. So I'll just send you an invitation when it's ready, and then we can go from there. But otherwise, congratulations on graduating from the program officially. So proud of you. Say hi to your dad, James, for me. But otherwise, enjoy your life. Caitlin.
I will definitely. Thank you so
Yeah.
Yes,
Of course, my pleasure. And I'll talk to you guys later. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
thank you.
All right. Take
Bye.
care. Bye. Thank you so much for Caitlyn and Kelly for sharing their story with such honesty and heart. I am so proud of them. Every journey through FND is different, but hearing how courage, connection, and support can make such a difference reminds me why I do what I do here at Teen FND Academy. And I cannot even tell you how amazing the community is inside Teen FND Academy, which is an online coaching program. So if you or your teen are struggling with the FND and wondering where you start, know that you're not alone, because you're definitely not. There is a community here ready to help you take the next step. From all of us at Teen FND Academy, thank you so much for listening. And remember, recovery takes time, just like Caitlyn's journey, but every small step forward matters. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next video.